Wrestling fans, thanks for clicking today's Reddit D-Bros report. I hope everybody had a great and safe holiday this last weekend. Alright, WWE Network now has all 2014 Raw and SmackDown episodes through early April. I think they're always going to stay a month behind on the bringing them to the network, but it appears WWE is going to be able to add episodes a month later under the new Universal NBC deal. And Pat Patterson, when they was over in Rotterdam, as the Intercontinental Champion, Bad News Barrett retained his win over Big E, of course. At one point, I guess Barrett slammed Patterson into the turnbuckle. This led to Big E holding Barrett, and Patterson punched him. Probably been wanting to do that for a long time. John Cena and Cesaro had beers together, believe it or not, in the ring, celebrating with the fans after the other day's WWE live event in Berlin. This, of course, before they came back. The Intercontinental or International Tour is over, and the WWE crews are making their way back to the States for Monday's Raw, which we already seen. They made it. But anyways, Cesaro and Cena having beers. Could be something of the future there. After original Sin Cara returned to Mexico and said for a few months that he had the right to use and legally use that name, he's now saying he thinks he should have a new name and to help break free of his past characters. And word is the official on-screen decision about the world title is supposed to be made. And I thought it was going to be an angle over a length of time, but it sounds like they're kind of narrowing it down. I'm not sure still any in-ring activity that Daniel is going to be able to do, but date-wise. But I don't think he's going to be able to make it to this Sunday's pay-per-view. And noted before, old Scott Hall was preparing for the WWE Network interview last week, and apparently it's going to be taking place tonight at the SmackDown tapings in Atlanta. Hall was getting his hair dyed and noted that Triple H invited him to next week's Tuesday's taping. His son Cody Hall is also going to be there. Not sure what the taping is going to be, whether it's going to be a thing on his, maybe a DVD coming out on him, or the Click. WWE website's got a new poll up asking which finishers are more devastating. Is it John Cena's Attitude Adjustment or Bray Wyatt's sister Abigail with about 3,000 votes? AA is in the lead with about 52%. It's kind of tied. And Byron Saxton interviewed Jimmy Hart and Hulk Hogan for the WWE at last week's SmackDown episode. And Hogan teased that he may be appearing on Legends House soon. And while the series has been, it was filmed back, I didn't know if you knew this for sure or not, it was filmed back in 2012. And we do know that Shawn Michaels will be making a special guest appearance on next week's show. See, they tried to peddle that for about a year or so, like they did Total Divas. Nobody picked it up, so they saved it for the network, and now we get to see it. Alright, Ric Flair is expected to be, like I said, at the taping. Last word, Flair still hadn't completed the medical testings for WWE, but it's likely he's going to have to get that done before anything happens. And noted before, Scott's going to be there at the same time tonight. And from from just before WrestleMania 30 until now, Vince has lost around $842 million on paper, the value of the company, and with around $360 million of that being earlier this month. Vince is still worth around $700 million. Don't get excited. He's not in that breadline yet. $700 million. I wonder how much more he could lose. One person been associated with Vince for a while said that he know that the mainstream media and business publications covering how much money he's lost about how he's no longer a billionaire will drive him crazy. It's said that the actual loss of stock money isn't going to bother him, but he just don't like not being a billionaire. All right, let me see. We had a new woman in developmental. Got a new diva going on. It's Savannah, or they just call her Lena, I guess. Finney, who is of Samoan descent and somehow is close to The Rock. Don't know exactly whether they're cousins or what, but her grandfather and The Rock's great-grandmothers are brother and sister. I'm not sure how that tree goes over there. But anyway, Lena, who is from California, has a background in sports and apparently a basketball star player. She attended WrestleMania 28 with John Cena and The Rock, by the way, for when they had their main event. You know what? It may be just me, but whenever Lana comes out to introduce her boyfriend or whatever he really is, I can't wait for her to say something about Vladimir Putin. I don't know what it is. I can't wait for her to say that. It must be just something wrong with me, I guess. But anyway, while in the UK, London native Layla spoke to Bang Showbiz about how she would like to host a Strictly Come Dancing TV show. That must be a show over there, I guess. And for what it's worth, the article noted that Layla said that she wants to return to the UK for good this year. I don't know, maybe her contract is expiring soon. WWE, well, see, Wrestling DVD News has some details coming out about a single DVD disc that's WWE's planning for the release of the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and Undertaker. It said there's indications that the release will only be available in Europe, though, but it's not confirmed. But the synopsis goes on with Brothers of Destruction got a long history, and they talk about this and that. And the single DVD disc set will have 7 matches featured of Kane and Undertaker's tag team titles. One's no disqualification match, tag team match with them taking on Edge and Christian in SmackDown 2011. Steel cage match for the WCW tag team champion with them taking on DDP and Canyon 2001, and The Miz taking on John Morrison ECW April 2008. And there may, I don't know, there's something going on with this deal with the belt. I'm not sure, but I don't think they could really take that away from me until, after a 30-day of no putting it on the line, no activity. We got something up. But anyway, after last night's Raw in Knoxville went off the air, John Cena came back out and sang one of the official Tennessee songs, Rocky Top, as he often does, I guess. And our course, anyway, the finish of Dark Match was, I guess, the Wyatt family came out, interrupted Cena apparently singing, and who could blame him? Then that led to Cena in a Dark Match taking on Bray Wyatt. Well, anyway, interference from Luke Harper and Rowan kind of ended that. And there's a lot of chatter and talk online about WWE going private after recent stocks tumble, but this has been brought up within WWE in the past, and there was a negative reaction to it. The feeling is that the public company makes them more respectable, makes them more legitimate, and gives the pro wrestling a better mainstream look. Plus, Vince won't have to be told by a bunch of people that he borrowed money from, that, what he plans on doing. But I would think it would be, if he is, convinced that he knows the best, for wrestling, for us, let him run with it. Put his money on the line, just leave it there. He's kind of, his job's on the line now. If he loses any more money, he could be gone. And it was noted with George Barrios recently that they've discussed running advertisements on WWE Network, which I think would just drive, memberships away to it. I don't think, we don't want to pay. If we want to watch HBO, we're going to pay for it. I don't want no advertising on there unless we're advertising next week's show. Word is that while ads on the network are possible, have been discussed, it happened to be anytime soon that WWE is working to determine the value of the network, and it's said that the ads could just be popping up on the WWE network as early as the first quarter of 2015 as the company decides what to do with WrestleMania 31 and the network and pricing for next year. See, they've lost a lot of money because they didn't get the pay-per-view buys from the cable companies and the satellite providers, but who didn't know that? That WWE didn't know that they were going to lose that much money, or that money from them people. It was ridiculous. All right, and a scary stat: they will lose more money in 2014 than any other wrestling company in history in a calendar year, besides WCW in 2000. WWE is expected to lose about $45 million and $52 million in 2014. WCW lost $62 million in the year 2000. Hence why they got sold. All right, they previously expected, WWE did, to lose maybe 23 to 26 million in the first 6 months of the year, but that was because of the expense of the networking things. It's a big story and a major loss for WWE, but they are going out of business. There's been a lot of speculation and rumors amongst fans lately, but they're all right. It's a scary situation, stat for WWE, though. CM Punk has tweeted during last night's LA Kings and Blackhawk hockey game. Punk congratulated UFC fighter TJ Dillashaw for his win last weekend. I'm about done. And it was mentioned on last night's Raw that the post show that Booker T will be working Thursday's NXT TakeOver event. No word yet on what role he's going to be doing. But Renee Young, Cesaro, Christian, yeah, he's still there, is going to be there, and Paul Heyman. New advertisements for WWE SmackDown tapings in Pittsburgh list a match with Daniel Bryan and The Shield taking on Randy Orton and the Wyatt family. I say that's June 24th. In an update on the Dark Main Event after last night's Raw, Cena kicked out of Bray Wyatt's sister Abigail. This led to the referee getting knocked out and interference from Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. Bray Wyatt brought a chair, but accidentally hit Rowan with it. Cena hit the attitude adjustment on Bray for the win. Cena then sung Rocky Top. WWE's website's got a new poll up asking fans who should be the Raw General Manager. Paul Heyman, JBL. Adam Rose got in there somehow. Vicky Guerrero, Hulk Hogan, Bray Wyatt, John Laurinaitis, Zeb Colter, William Regal, or Lana. She's in there. With over 13,000 votes, Hogan's in the lead, 44%. Next closest, Paul Heyman at 11. All right. You know, I hope Believe don't start giving us a big spiel like, I don't know if you knew that, but his brother, Bray Wyatt, I hope they don't start preaching. And I'm not sure whether Bo Dallas is going to be heel or face, because he kind of is on that edge right now. I don't know which way he's going to go, because he's kind of getting a little overbearing, I think. Anyway, this I hope you've seen it, Raw. Noted before, Berkeley Ottman, son of wrestling legend Fred Ottman, and cousin to Cody Rhodes, had been working for WWE as a timekeeper in developmental. Anyway, Berkeley was one who got the super wedgie that Alicia Fox did on Raw. I've never seen a wedgie that bad before in my life. Whew. TNA has booked the Manhattan Center Grand Ballroom for 3 more Impact tapings August 5th, 6th, and 7th. Jeff Jarrett's Global Wrestling, Global Force Wrestling, has applied to registered trademarks of Global Force Wrestling, RNGFW, and Global Force Entertainment. All 3 trademarks are used in digital media and streaming material on the network. And happy birthday to TNA and former WCW executive Eric Bischoff, 59 years old, one-time WCCW television champion. Kelly Kaninsky, 54, one-time WWE Diva champion Natalia, 32 years old. Thanks for clicking, you guys, and hanging in there with me. I gotta go.